All right, I'm going to be making the walnut and cherry smoothie today. I'm touching a container that has walnuts and almonds in water, 1 cup of water from overnight, which is going to be put through the filter to fill up to 1 cup of nut milk, which is in this situation almond milk and walnut milk from sitting in 1 cup of water. I have a teaspoon of organic, all natural maple syrup, and I have cherries. The recipe calls for 12 ounces of cherries. I have 16 ounces of cherries. I'll bring out the 12 ounces of cherries and break them up so that I can make sure 12 ounces, about 12 ounces, is in the blend mix. Right now, I'm going to pour the mixture of the almond and walnuts. As you can see, it has a nice light brown color. It's a milky blend. It's up to 1 cup, and I'm going to let them sit there right in the filter. Just if any excess drip comes down, it'll go right into the cup. So here I have the cherries. The recipe calls for pitted cherries. I'm going to have to remove the pits myself. So I'm just cutting the cherry in half, and I'm going to remove the pit with a butter knife. I like to use the butter knife because it's not sharp, and I think that is a safe measure, especially if a sharp knife is not necessary. So I'll just put the cherry inside. I go through about 12 ounces of cherries and take the pit out, remove the stem, and put them into the Ninja blender. Now I'm going to put the teaspoon of organic maple syrup there, and I'm just going to put a little bit more because some of the syrup in the teaspoon actually falls onto the platter there. And I'm putting the walnut and almond milk, I'll call it, it's the nut milk, into the blender with a couple pieces of ice, which I think is going to be good to add to the coolness and add more to the blend. It's a part of the recipe to add the ice. As you see, I removed the oxygen, put the blend on, and release the air after all the oxygen removes is gone. And now it's time to pour this walnut and cherry smoothie and see how it tastes. Alright, it's time to try the cherry and walnut smoothie. This is a smooth drink. It's not fluffy, it's not super sweet. I can definitely taste the nut milk, the walnut, and the almond milk more so than the cherry, and it's a nice blend that makes really smooth, not fluffy drink. It's a good juice. I don't even want to say this is a smoothie. I like it. You might be able to see the cherry bits, though they are very subtle and small, light, tender flakes that are not crunchy or hard. They don't really stick on the tongue. They're not bothersome. and the milk really makes this a smooth juice. It's really tasty in a subtle, chill way. There's no sweetness. The syrup is very subtle. It's a dull sweetness, something that lingers more so on the lips than that hits the tongue. It's tasty. I like the cherry walnut smoothie. I definitely feel as though this is a great option to make, and I am putting this on my recommendation list because I like the mixture and the texture. I think this is a wholesome drink to have. Alright, the movie of the week is The Invisible Life. The film is about two sisters that grow apart because one falls in love in an untraditional way and the other sister stays in the family and follows a traditional route. Both these sisters go through their entire life without seeing each other after a point, though are very near to each other in spirit. I think the film touches on what is traditional, what is non traditional. I think the role of the father in this film is very important because the father takes on the role completely in a traditional sense that really puts the family in a jeopardy. And to see the role played throughout the film is so strange. It's somewhat striking because in the traditional relationship the traditional daughter embarks on, I can see how the man is the aggressor and how the husband in that relationship sees everything that's happening as normal until his wife begins to show her skills, and there's this limitation and a great misunderstanding between them where the husband in that traditional marriage with the sister that goes along the traditional route, she's a very skillful artist. I don't want to spoil too much of the film for you, and to see her embracing him from her point of somewhat naivete, and him not being able to embrace her from his point of tradition, of his point of understanding his role as a father, his role as a male, as the film depicts them. This is a film someone can really dig into the gender roles with, and I think with the daughter that goes the non-traditional route, she really does flow into what community is and how beyond the family there is community, and how one person does not always fit in with where one might be born in, where one might be like a member of in some way. That might not be their perfect fit, though they might be a part of it in some degree for whatever reason. And the non-traditional daughter has this community she finds, this family she grows with, that actually helps her mature in so many ways. And to say she lives a happier life or not is subjective, though one might be able to say, yeah, she does live a happy life to a degree. And I think
the film doesn't give enough information to speculate beyond a certain point, though it does reveal that she does really gain in a positive way. And so I think the Invisible Life does a good job of touching on these gender roles between the mother and the father and the family, daughters. It's quite interesting. The understanding of love, the understanding of marriage comes about. Whew, I think that arranged marriages are tough. I do not know the spectrum of them, though I do understand that the film puts it to light that there's some awkwardness to it. There is a known imbalance, though the relationship is constantly flowing in an unknown, though under a particular understanding. And it's really wild to see the variables coming together. If you like the video, you like the smoothie, have any suggestions about the film or the smoothie, please feel free to share, comment, and like the video. Thank you for joining me, Smoothies and Movies. Stay safe, stay healthy, and keep improving.